Hello and welcome to the news on NTA International. I am Dennis Adegunloye. Thanks for joining us. Let's begin with the headlines. Collation of results of Ondo State governorship election underway. Delegates on sideline of COP29 draw attention of governments to impact of climate change on health infrastructure. And joint mission of ECOWAS African Union tasks Senegalese on peaceful electoral process. And we'll begin with electoral matters. Voting has been concluded in the Ondo State governorship election, with sorting and counting ongoing across all 3,933 polling units across the state. Observers reported a peaceful electoral process, noting, however, the low voter turnout in some polling units.
In this particular polling booth, where we have a member of National Assembly, Honorable Ife Indero, also voting in this particular polling booth. The situation is also the same.
The resident electoral commissioner, Oluwatoyin Babalola, confirmed the successful deployment of the bimodal voter accreditation system, BVAS.
Very early, about 1.5 hours before the official time, and voters turned out because we promised the people of Ondo State that we will wait for them at the polling units. Voters will not wait for us. The BVAS machines are working optimally. We have all our materials in sufficient quantity, and people are voting seamlessly.
Can you tell us the report you are getting across the state regarding BVAS and the exercise generally?
Generally, on BVAS, maybe I've had just about 2 complaints, and our RATEC quickly solved the problem. But generally, over 97% have received very good reports.
And of course, we'll bring you updates as the collation and counting process unfolds. Now, President Bola Tinubu will receive Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on a state visit at the presidential villa in Abuja on Sunday. A statement by the Presidential Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, indicates that Prime Minister Modi is scheduled to arrive this Saturday. His visit to Nigeria will be the first by an Indian Prime Minister since Dr. Manmohan Singh's state visit in 2007, when the two nations established a strategic partnership. President Tinubu and Prime Minister Modi will seek to strengthen ties further during their bilateral discussions. Both leaders are expected to exchange signed memoranda of understanding to enhance collaboration in critical sectors. In the meantime, the Ministry of Defense says the new circle of projects by the German Technical Advisory Group, GTAG, will further strengthen the military relations between Nigeria and Germany. Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Defense, Dr. Ibrahim Abubakar Kana, said this when he met with a high-level delegation from the German Technological Advisory Group, led by Mr. Marcus Ulm in the Ministry of Defense headquarters, Abuja. He highlights Nigeria's efforts since the last meeting with the group, noting that the federal government has developed a framework mandating the defense headquarters to develop projects within the framework for proper coordination, planning, and execution. He emphasized the importance of modernizing the Nigerian armed forces through enhanced security intelligence sharing, equipment upgrades, and capacity building, as well as the need for Nigerian personnel involvement in the project planning and execution for the purpose of sustainability. Nigeria's former head of state, General Abdulsalami Abubakar, has urged the younger generation to inculcate conscious spirit of selfless service to their motherland in order to realize the visions of the nation's founding fathers. The former head of state gave the charge at the 5th Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe Annual Award Lecture held in Abuja. Chukwunonso Nwabweze reports.
With the theme, Nigeria's Governance Model, Prospects and Perspectives, this year's lecture brought together eminent Nigerians from various walks of life in honor of one of the nation's founding fathers, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. Leveraging the unity and diversity of guests at the event, Nigeria's former head of state, General Abdulsalami Abubakar, canvasses yet again the message of nationalism and patriotism as exemplified in the life of Zik.
I'm confident that this lecture will serve as a beacon and guide us towards a more prosperous nation. May I call on all of us to join hands in making peace and maintaining peace in the country as Zik did in his final days.
The keynote speaker and governor of Borno State, Babagana Umara Zulum, represented went down memory lane to dissect Zik's struggles against colonialism and its impact on Nigeria's governance model.
Indeed, Dr. Azikiwe and others laid a solid foundation for democratic principles and national cohesion in their struggles against the British colonial rule. The vision was clear: nationalism, democracy, and national unity.
It is time to build a befitting national center for unity here in Abuja in the name of the late sage, Dr. Azikiwe, who fought and died for the unity of this country. The center, when completed, will serve as a unifying place of reference.
Today we have a united Nigeria. Today we have one corporate entity called Nigeria. So I believe that if all Nigerians can emulate the legacy of Azikiwe, Nigeria will be a better place.
Coinciding with the 120th posthumous birthday celebration of the first Nigerian president, the event provided an opportunity to honor some Nigerians who have distinguished themselves in different fields of endeavor. Chukwunonsonwa Bueze, NTA News.
Let's focus on environmental matters now. The Special Presidential Envoy on Climate Change and Director General, National Council on Climate Change in Kurukwa, Medwikwe, has briefed the media on a request for reforms of the existing financial architecture and other engagements. This was on the sidelines of the conference in Baku, Azerbaijan. Charles Alpha has more.
First was the meeting of the African Group of Negotiators with the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, where they made the case for Africa on the need to reform the existing financial architecture to allow Africa, that is most vulnerable to the impact of climate change. African Group of Negotiators sought the support of the United Nations to ensure that Baku delivers on clear finance structure, enhanced transparency in finance being given to Africa.
We're able to share with him the need for enhancing our carbon credits and the standards, and also the fact that they needed to also fulfill the pledge of $100 billion. So these are the things that Africa said to him as a group. Riding on that, again, like I said, there's ongoing conversations with different partners, different stakeholders to say, how do you come in to invest in Nigeria?
Guterres again re-emphasized how Africa is extremely impacted by climate change. Africa, he said, has the solution to drive the change. The Minister of State for Petroleum Gas, Ekwerikpe Ikpo, while briefing the media at the Nigerian pavilion, also revealed the fruitful engagement with the Organization of Economic Cooperation Development of the EU Commission, where issues of gas flaring, funding and investment to the Nigeria's oil and gas sector were discussed.
The challenges that we are having is that of developing the infrastructure to make sure that every molecule of gas taken is used for the good of the country. And so I solicit the cooperation of the European Commission to come to assistance and release the fund, the financing that they have been doing with other countries into our country, Nigeria, so that they will be at par.
With reports showing how Africa is left behind in the investment in renewable energy in Africa, ambitious mitigation plan, they said is good, but adaptation is critical for Africa's survival. In Baku, Azerbaijan, Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Meanwhile, delegates on the sidelines of COP29 are drawing attention of governments to the existential impact of climate change on health and its infrastructure in not just Africa, but across the globe. Charles Alpha again reports that the conversation is being championed by nurses across international borders.
The excruciating effects of climate change exempts no one or country, but its impact on lives and general well-being of the people is why this group, operating under the UNFCCC observer status, are drawing attention. to the implication of disasters in the healthcare delivery system around the globe. While they draw attention of governments around the world to this problem, they are also interrogating experts to formulate and profile solutions.
Each and every country needs a detailed plan with the optimal mixture of technologies, policies, and fiscal and financial instruments that will allow the implementation of the change.
A lot of people, wrongly or rightly, has a misconception that climate change is just an environmental issue. But it is not. It is more of health than environment. Because the only way by which you can measure any success in any climate change campaign is the impact on your health and my health.
Disasters, first and foremost, they say, are considered in terms of human consequences, and letting world leaders here at COP29 know the imperative of putting up strong mitigation measures is key to reducing the risks. From Baku, Azerbaijan, Charles Alpha, NTA News.
More on electoral matters now. ECOWAS and the African Union have reiterated their appeal to Senegal for a peaceful, free and fair electoral process. Statements by the ECOWAS informs or indicates that the election observation missions deployed are in Senegal with the aim of operating jointly and observing the final days of the electoral campaigns, as well as the conduct of the election to its final stage. The statement says the joint mission will end on 20th November 2024, the date of its departure from Senegal. The joint mission is led on behalf of ECOWAS by Francis Alex Tsiga, former ambassador of Ghana to Spain, and on behalf of the African Union by Calixte Aristide Mbari, head of the Democracy, Elections and Constitutionalism Division of the African Union Commission. And Gabonese are voting, or have been voting this Saturday in a constitutional referendum as the military prepares to hand over power to democratically elected leaders. The new constitution will require presidential candidates to be exclusively Gabonese and have a Gabonese spouse, therefore eliminating Bongo's ability to return to power. The proposed constitution also sets out a vision of a presidency with a maximum of 2 7-year terms, no prime minister and no dynastic transfer of power. Voting began late at several polling stations in the capital Libreville, with papers still being handed out when the polls opened at 7 a.m. The junta on Saturday extended a night curfew by 2 hours, bringing it forward to midnight during the whole electoral process. In other news, a sustainable land management practice, improved irrigation systems, and waste reduction techniques are what Nigeria needs to revolutionize the food supply chain from farm to table. At the 23rd International Conference of the Nigerian Institution of Environmental Engineers in Abuja, experts were confident that the country has the expertise to design systems that can enhance agricultural productivity while preserving the natural resources that sustain them. Kelvin Evwonaye reports.
Agricultural activities are responsible for approximately 25% of greenhouse gas emissions worldwide. So, in the heart of combating climate change impact on livelihoods and food production, speakers at this conference of environmental engineers are calling for adoption of technologies that can reduce carbon footprints within agriculture. The shortest route to achieving this, as emphasized here, is climate-smart agriculture and crop diversification that can sustain productivity without harming the environment.
Almost everywhere in the world are not secured with food due to a lot of problems ranging from climate change, deforestation, drought, and some other things. So, and we realize that the earlier the better. We need to solve this problem, and that is we, the experts, the environmental engineers.
Without a sustainable environment, you can't get food security. And if you're looking for food security, the environment must be sustainable.
Recommendations from this conference are to be made available to policymakers to assist government in finding solutions to the challenge of food insecurity and environmental protection. In Abuja, Kelvin Ewonwaye, NTA News.
You're on to the news on NTA International. We'll take a short break. More reports in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back. President Bola Tinubu has instructed the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security to wisely allocate resources to assist smallholder farmers in increasing their production for this year's dry season farming activities. This directive from the President coincides with the ministry's plans for a large-scale production initiative focused on wheat, rice, maize and cassava during the dry season. Musa Baba Aliu takes a look at government strategy for accomplishing these objectives.
Wheat, rice, maize and cassava are the primary food crops in high demand in Nigeria. Meeting the country's demand of the produce, especially wheat and rice, has been a major challenge over the years. This is the idea of introduction of the Agro Pocket Initiative under the Renewed Hope agenda to boost production. President Bola Tinubu has therefore approved the Federal Ministry of Agriculture's plan to increase output by 450,000 metric tons by the end of 2024-2025 dry season farming activities.
Our focus remains steadfast on strengthening the production and availability of staple food crops such as wheat, rice, maize, sorghum, soybeans, and cassava. With a loan facility from AFDB to the tune of 134 million, this project reflects on the federal government's commitment to addressing food security challenges faced by Nigerians due to the food inflation.
The first phase of the initiative will focus on wheat cultivation on 250,000 hectares in 36 states. Farmers will receive support with seeds, fertilizer, chemicals, and other essential inputs.
That means all input distributors or agro dealers are to sell only certified and approved products sourced from registered and accredited sources, and the farmers in turn must use the inputs following the prescribed quantities in line with the best agronomic practices for optimum yield.
The second phase will support 150,000 rice farmers across all the 37 states, including the FCT, with an expected output of 450,000 metric tons. The African Development Bank and other international organizations, including the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, are providing resources and technical expertise to support the initiative. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Tress Trend Company, one of the leading brands in the luxury hair industry, has opened in Abuja. Chukunonso Nwabweze reports that the official opening of the brand's shop provided ample opportunity to celebrate and showcase the company's exceptional story of craftsmanship in the beauty industry.
Situated at plot 525 Obafemi Awolowo Way, Jabi, Abuja, Tress Trend Company Limited is a premier provider of luxury bone-straight hair crafted to perfection in Vietnam. The beauty giant is now in Abuja, offering residents of the federal capital city, especially the ladies' folk, high-quality, genuine and price-friendly 100% natural luxury hair products. The company's brand manager, Christian, says the brand's frontal and closure bone-straight, spring rolls, as well as pixie coil wigs of different lengths and colors are testament to their commitment to high standards and durability, while their after-sales services to customers are top-notch.
We make sure we have a very good high-quality product, because every of our hair products are made of 100% real human hair, and everyone we will let them have get the desired effect what we want. And we also have so many affordable products that they can afford.
30% discount and other complimentary gifts were on offer for the opening day customers, while a promo of 20% discount on every purchase will run from 16th to 30th November 2024.
The quality seems really good. I really like that. And they look like things that would last. And I'm always looking for something that will get me the most compliments. So I can already see some pieces here that I think would work in that order. So yes, I really like what I'm seeing.
The price is very fair, like very, very fair. Like I even asked for it outside, but like 2 of the payments. So half of it, I got it here for that price.
With another of its kind in Wusetu, Abuja, Trace Trend aims to have more than 500 shops across the world in the next 5 years to address the problem of accessibility, quality, and reliability in luxury hair products. Chukwunonso Nwabweze, NTA News.
Now, stakeholders in the justice sector have applauded Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi for his proactive efforts towards improving the system of administration of justice in the country. President, Center for Socio-Legal Studies, Professor Yemi Akinsheye George, SAN, noted the adoption of the National Minimum Standards Project for improving the quality of criminal justice delivery in the country. Austin Nanyebe reports.
President, Center for Socio-Legal Studies, Professor Yemi Akinsheye George, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, said the center is entering into a partnership with an organization to deepen the National Minimum Standard projects for the effective implementation of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act in the FCT and the Administration of Criminal Justice laws of the 7 focal states, which include Abia, Adamawa, Anambra, Kano, Lagos, Plateau, and Edo. This entails building capacity of officers and other stakeholders, recommends legislative reforms, and propose amendments to bring in the AJA into conformity with the national minimum standards.
The Nigerian system of criminal justice remains the systemic weakness which manifests in inefficiency, poor record keeping, weak coordination, and low level of accountability. All of these problems result in what is called delayed trials, overcrowded correctional centers, and widespread denial of access to justice.
He commended the federal government for improving the remuneration of judicial officers and for extending the retirement age of high court judges. This improvement, he said, must be matched with closer monitoring and evaluation of the work of judges. In Abuja, Austin Anyebe, NTA News.
In a bold move to empower Nigeria's youths and reduce poverty, the federal government has launched a training program aimed at equipping over 100 youths and women across the nation with vital skills in sustainable energy and agricultural innovation. The initiative at the instance of the Federal Institute of Industrial Research, Oshodi, which focuses on converting diesel generators to compressed natural gas models and mushroom production, among other skills, was flagged off in the nation's capital, Abuja. Justin Bem Unyi reports.
If I get about 65 degrees centigrade, then automatically the gas will come in. Now this is the gas cylinder.
The Federal Institute of Industrial Research, Oshodi, FIRO, is spearheading the project with a goal to provide hands-on training that will not only create jobs, but also pave the way for long-term economic growth. Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Uche Naji, emphasized the significance of the program, stating that it would serve as a crucial step towards reducing unemployment and tackling poverty in Nigeria.
I commend FIRO for their dedication to building self-reliance, adding value to local commodities and promoting market-driven research.
The training is set to offer participants specialized skills that align with global technological trends, particularly in the fields of renewable energy and agricultural value addition. Not less than 100 persons, mainly youths and women, are beneficiaries of the training on conversion of petrol generators to CNG, mushroom cultivation, as well as costume production, like Vaselines and others. Dr. Jume Tutua, Director General of FIRO, spoke on the importance of the capacity building.
We have been vigorously pursuing our mandate to ensure that research, development, innovation, engagement are ultimately translated into products, goods, and services in the marketplace.
as the government and Firo work together to equip the next generation of Nigerian leaders with the tools for economic transformation. The hope is that these efforts will inspire further innovation and progress across the nation. Justin Bemuni, NTA News.
Kano City stood still to celebrate with former governor of the state and national leader of the NNPP, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, as he gave out his daughter in marriage to the son of a Nigerian businessman, Dahiru Mangal. Vice President Kashim Shettima was at the Asian city for the wedding, as State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
Vice President Kashim Shettima arrived at the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport and was received by Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf. It was a gathering of people from all walks of life to this ancient city of Kano for this conjugal bliss of Dr. Aisha Turabi Kwankwaso and Fahad Dahiru Mangal. Vice President Kashim Shettima stood in for the groom, while Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf gave out Aisha to the Mangal family after the payment of 1 million naira as dowry. Professor Sani Zaharuddin, the chief imam of Kano, solemnized the marriage. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, serving and former governors were among dignitaries that graced the occasion. From Kano, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
Let's now get a check on the weather prospects. Well, we eventually got there on the weather prospect, and that ends the news on NTA International. Many thanks for watching. I am Dennis Adigunloye.